Welcome back. And in this module, we're going to be talking about one of the most exciting areas of red light research, and that's how it influences. Welcome back. And in this module, number 10, we're going to be talking about one of the most exciting areas of red light research. That's how it influences your brain, your mood, and your overall nervous system. So, why light affects the brain? How can that even happen? Well, if you think about your brain as an electrical panel, if the wiring is stressed, the whole home, everything that uses electricity starts to flicker. And if the circuits are overloaded, things start to, and nothing's running efficiently. So, your brain, it's going to control everything in your entire body, but specifically, it's going to control things like your mood, your sleep, your overall stress, your memory, your recovery, your focus, your hormones, and everything else that we didn't mention. So, red and near infrared red light are going to support your brain by addressing the root of all of those things that we've mentioned many, many times, and that's your mitochondria. That's what fires off every single cell in your body, including your neurons. And that's one of the main things that we see red light help with brain health is it boosts ATP or adenosine triphosphate, the energy that your cells use to run, it boosts that in your neurons. So better fuel leads to better function of your brain. A couple other things it does. Red light increases cerebrospinal fluid, which is the fluid that surrounds your brain and your spinal cord. And it's constantly circulating up and around, and it delivers certain things like oxygen. So, more oxygen, you're going to have clearer thinking. It also helps remove all the debris and all of the junk that your nervous system creates just by functioning. So, it improves that as well. And by doing that, by getting rid of all of that junk, it's going to help reduce neuroinflammation. And a brain that has less neuroinflammation is a calmer brain, which leads to calmer function and calmer overall body and health. Red light also supports what we call the default mode network, right? And this is how it's going to affect how your body handles stress. So it's going to improve mood, anxiety, emotional balance, and all of those things that come along with it. Red light also helps to regulate your circadian rhythm, which is going to lead to better sleep, and better sleep leads to better brain function. So, evidence from human trials that we like to look at. One is from 2009. This one came out of Harvard. It's called the psychological benefits 2 and 4 weeks after a single treatment of near infrared light on the forehead. And this was just a pilot study of 10 patients with major depression and anxiety. So only 4 minutes of near infrared light on their forehead improved mood and it reduced anxiety scores in this small human trial. And obviously, they mentioned at the very end of the trial that this was a pilot study in order to show that a larger randomized control study should be done. Another study was from the Journal of Neurotrauma from 2014 called Significant Improvements in Cognitive Performance Post Transcranial, which means through the skull, of red near infrared light emitting diode treatments in chronic mild traumatic brain injury, an open protocol study. So this one showed that photobiomodulation through the transcranially through the skull improves executive function, it improves memory, and it improves attention in people who had a chronic brain injury. So that at the end of the study, they said, quote, participants and family reported better ability to perform social, interpersonal, and occupational functions. And then another study is a systematic review, which is where they take a whole bunch of different studies and put them all together from 2020 and found that photobiomodulation, it may benefit cognitive performance, like we talked about, mood, neurodegenerative conditions, brain energy metabolism, which is that increase in mitochondrial function in the cells of the brain. And in fact, if I go onto PubMed and just type in photobiomodulation in the brain, I get hundreds and hundreds of hits. So the research is ever expanding. It's expanding exponentially, and it's showing more and more promise for red and near infrared light on the brain and how it functions, especially in people who have traumatic brain injuries like concussions or people with mood and anxiety disorders. The research is getting more and more potent, better and better studies, and just better and better information coming out. So your brain is incredibly sensitive to energy. And energy is made in your mitochondria, and that's what gives those neurons a boost. So everything from mood to memory to stress regulation can shift by using red and near infrared light. Many people say it feels like the lights have been turned back on in their head because they have more clarity, they have calmer mood, and they have less mental or fatigue or brain fog. And that's one of the main things we see with people who use it regularly. They see less anxiety, they see better sleep, they see sharper focus, improved mood, fewer headaches, faster recovery from stress, all of the things that we want to see when we're talking about brain and nervous system health. And we didn't even talk about red and near infrared light with other nervous system disorders like neuropathy, which we might do a whole nother module on that alone. So red light doesn't just help you look younger, it actually helps your brain feel clearer, calmer, and more resilient because it's actually making it function clearer, calmer, and more resilient. We'll see you on the next module.